Hey guys, so today I'll be covering Cuban's open interest spaghetti. Beautiful indicator. I'm just going to be covering some of the more core concepts that you need to learn, and I believe next week or soon, Cuban will be doing an open interest spaghetti, more advanced things like how he actually goes into the nuances of using it more in granular detail. But I'm going to be covering the more core concepts and just what to look out for, just to get people started so they can understand what's going on. Next week, however, I'll be dropping an open interest profile update, and with that update is going to come a more elaborative video. So two things we're going to look out for today is trend momentum, and the second thing is overextension and how to play the reversive side of using open interest. Just quick, I'm also going to go through how to set this up. So one of the key things that you want to look for when setting up an open interest spaghetti, and the easiest way to do that is using the timestamp setting on look back mode, and that is to look for key events. And key event is anything that causes, for example, a massive change in price, as well as open interest is a very good place to start. There's rolling mode and zoom mode, but we'll cover the more key events and what will be more useful to most people. We can see that open interest suffered significantly in this drop off, right? And then since then, we didn't really do much in open interest. Like we had our little ups and downs, but nothing crazy. This is clearly our most key event. When setting it up, you then use the open interest timestamp setting. You look at the time at which this happened. So this happened at 9 p.m. on the 26th of April 2023. I'm on UTC +1, so that means you subtract 1. So where it said 9 p.m, I put 8 p.m, then 26th of April 2023. Then you can obviously set up the asset list by using the asset list drop down. This is how you get all of these different versions, and then use screen location to place them accordingly. So this is asset list 1, asset list 2, asset list 3, screen location 1, screen location 2, screen location 3. Very straightforward stuff, but it's important to cover how to set it up for most people who are learning about open interest spaghetti for the first time. So that concludes the setup of this indicator. How do we use it? I'm going to cover this very, very simply, and it should make sense. First things first, we just looked at a significant move downwards that wiped out open interest. So what are we going to look for a pair that's outperforming? Well, for a pair that's outperforming, ideally, the open interest should be following that to confirm the strength of the momentum of that pair. You can see that here, EGLD has outperformed. And this coin is very interesting because it perfectly encapsulates. So you know what, I'm going to put that here. I already have one open, so I don't need this one. It perfectly encapsulates the two sides that we want to discuss today, which is the upward momentum and the potential to short the reversion trade when things are overextended. So let's cover that first. So the open interest spaghetti, you could see that EGLD really started to outperform, but it started to gain traction around 125 where it took over everything else. And so you'd be cluing in at that time like, okay, cool, we've just had a significant drop off. The new day just started at about 1 a.m. on my screen because it's UTC +1, and we should be aware that, okay, EGLD might start to do some significant move. New day, it's starting to overtake at 1:25 a.m. and it maintains that while everything else kind of dropped off that was preceding EGLD. EGLD went even up a little bit and then went down but went back up, right? So I'd say about 125, 140-ish is when it starts to like show that, okay, yo, this coin is possibly going to do well with open interest, it's possibly going to do well with price. I can see a position being built. Maybe there's a participant like trying to build a position here. And so if we go to EGLD, this is once again after the significant move down. So what we're taking in mind is BTC is then going to try to rally back up potentially, and it's looking for coins that may have outperformed during that time. That's what you're doing when you're looking at the open interest spaghetti. Since 1 a.m., since that day, since that drop, open interest spaghetti is showing that EGLD is potentially the one that's going to do well to reclaim its drop point where it fell off from, and then potentially go higher above that. So if we go into EGLD, and I've got the open interest auto loaded on this indicator on this one, and this is a free tool so anyone can use it, and open interest auto is just my version on the open interest indicator provided by TradingView, but it works with any Binance pair. So if you go on EGLD USDT.P, open interest by TradingView will work. But if you go on use open interest auto and you go on a spot pair or you go on a Bybit exchange and you load this one, it will grab the Binance data for you and plot it for you. So it's basically automatically detecting everything, and that's why it's called auto. So let's look at EGLD in respect to BTC, right? So BTC fell off around, they all did, around 9 p.m. was the low of that move, right? So let's go to 26th of April, 9 p.m. And you can see that here. BTC at this point in time has not reclaimed its point where it fell off from, right? It has not. EGLD, which has started to get this run up and then exploded in momentum and open interest, which then led to an explosion in momentum. You can see not only did it reclaim its high, it significantly shot past that. So that should give you an idea of, okay, at the new start of the day, after a significant event, once again, a significant event is key when you're using the timestamp setting. That's literally all you're looking for. EGLD is the one that's building this participant potentially building position. We can look for potential momentum play. It's going to outperform. If BTC is moving to the upside and the alts are doing potentially okay, EGLD is the one I'm going to look at because it's got a significant amount of open interest and so on and so forth. You can see it's gone past its high and then proceeded to pretty much rocket itself into success. And we said about 125-ish is when it started to take over. Up to 140, 145 is when it's done really well. If you look at 120, okay, cool. So 120 was already above this high. So that's potential for support, right? Just keeping it simple from the seller point, we took over, we reclaimed, we retest 120, and that's when it's started to pick up in momentum and open interest at the same time. Not a coincidence. And so about 120, 140, it's still relative. The open interest is still relatively low, as in like it's not spiked up as it is here, but it's above all the others. So I'm looking at EGLD. I see a retest, I see it's reclaimed, it's continuing upwards. You go long, for example, blah blah blah. That's the basics of it. That's how you look out for a trend strength momentum play. You look out for who's outperforming in terms of open interest, who's reclaimed in terms of a price action structure at their high, and why they have a reason to run now is that open interest as well as price action is looking good, so you have an opportunity to enter a long trade. That's a good way to use open interest spaghetti. Now we could talk about the opposite side. Quickly, let's just cover it. It shot up, open interest shot up with it, it's done really well, beautiful things you love to see. The opposite side is from the low, let's just go from the low to the high. It's gone up 24% in one period. Now that's great. If you caught that move, fantastic. And maybe you caught it from roughly the start of day. Let's see. I'm just going to go from here, just for convenience sake. About 20%. And if you caught it from the swing of the high, let's say around here, got 15%. Beautiful stuff. Like, great. Absolutely phenomenal. But that is a very significant move. A very, very significant move. Especially for BTC when it hasn't even reclaimed its high. These are pause charts, but I'm pretty confident BTC still hasn't reclaimed its high. High from its drop. If BTC hasn't reclaimed its high, the market might not be showing as much strength as you'd like for it to show. So you got to keep that in mind. You're like, okay, cool. This coin's doing well. I got lucky. I longed the position. I'm good. I'm happy, right? But BTC hasn't reclaimed its high. Things aren't the perfect state for a market. We're not in like a bull run condition. So I've got to be cautious. Close my longs. Can I look for a short? How do you look for a short? Well, in terms of the open interest spaghetti, you can see that this has significantly got a lot more open interest than anything else in terms of growth, right? So then that can give you the sense that, okay, it's outperformed the market, but now is it overextended? And then that overextension could be looking to give you the idea of, okay, if it's overextended and it's got a ridiculous amount of OI, it's potential someone's filling up their arse on the order book, right? So someone's trying to short into this market. And whoever's shorting into this market, well, then they've got the clear, obvious advantage of look how much extension has happened compared to the rest of the market. BTC not reclaiming its high, market being not necessarily, but yeah, we've had a decent amount of time compared to the last previous. Obviously we had 2-3 months of great, and then we've had really shitty for a year as well. But that doesn't mean we're in a bull market necessarily, so you can't just blindly long everything. So this guy's like, okay, cool, we're overextended a crazy. Let me look for a short area. You're looking at the short area, but you can also see that the open interest has spiked beyond price action. So now we're starting to see a divergence and open interest growth, and what that could represent is two things. So someone's filling in their arse and they filled their arse. Let's say you've got your short position, you've got the peak on top, you're the world's best trader, you're phenomenal, right? This growth in open interest can represent the fact that people are still longing in anticipation of continued momentum. And if it's open interest has grown this much and someone's potentially also filling up their short position. If open interest is then continuing to grow during this position, what can we do? Well, we can look to liquidate them. We can look for price to drop down. We can look for that overextension to come back to the mean. And the result of that mean reversion play would likely be that open interest decreases as these guys get liquidated. And that's this position here. And you can see that here. So it's quite simple, really. Open interest, how to use it. It's a trend momentum, trend confirmation, the logical price action. Combine those, you've got a potential for a play. Not a guaranteed play, but potential for a play. You know what you're looking out for, and you know what to do. And then this could be a little bit more tricky in my opinion, but then for the mean reversion play, and I don't recommend doing both. If you're new, stick to one, figure out one, look out for it on the charts. Overextension of price action relative to BTC, which has recently been leading quite well. How's BTC done? Not so great. What kind of market we in? It's currently kind of indecisive. Open interest is way overextended on this coin, so it's like, okay, if you got in early, great. If you haven't got in early, maybe avoid this position for, like, you don't want a long here. That's crazy. Like, there's just been like no low swept. That's basic liquidity theory, like, if you understand that. And then you're like, okay, cool, well, I'm not going to look for that long. And I'm not saying you're going to get the short, by the way, but if you keep seeing, okay, cool, a little bit of wipeout on OI, and then OI continues to build again. And wipeout should have this could have been a wipeout, right? But no, OI continued to build. So what could that represent? That could represent people just longing into that as potential support. And then that was likely longs that was going into this as they all got liquidated on the move down. It's quite, like you can see, as OI has gone down substantially in this move run down. That's the basics of it. That's basically how to cover open interest. So I hope you found that video useful. It's very straightforward. I found it was quite straightforward, but I will only know if you guys let us know in the Discord or the comment section. So if you guys ever feel like you're confused with something, please ask us in the Discord or leave a comment on this video. Give us a heads up. Give us what you want to explain a little bit more of, and we'll do our best to get to them as soon as possible. Next week I'll be doing a more advanced topic on open interest profile, so it's the part 2 of the previous video, and I hope you guys find that very useful. I'm very excited to release that. Lifetimers have seen an early sneak peek in a lifetime limited chat, and if you want to get access to these indicators, this one's free. Just search it on TradingView, open interest auto, and the others are available on cubansedger.com. So I hope to see you guys there, and I hope you guys enjoy. Ciao. Just checking in here. I just realized I could have probably shown the liquidations. So I loaded up simulated liquidations and Coinalyze, just to prove the liquidations are working as intended. So this rundown was potentials for liquidations, right? And I explained that's probably longs getting liquidated as according to the simulated liquidations, once again available on cubansedge.com. Longs were in fact liquidated in that period of time. However, in case you don't believe me, we can go into Coinalyze and you can see the same move. And once again, you can see that longs are liquidated. Now, it's not a significant liquidation cascade, but it is a position that you could have taken targeting said longs to be liquidated. That's additional proof. I hope that helps you guys with your trading. I hope you guys found that useful. And I look forward to making more videos with you guys soon. Actually, let's zoom out. Yeah, okay, cool. You can see simulated liquidations caught this one too. I just thought that was very significant. I hope the indicator is doing its job. It is in fact doing its job. It's done a good job there. It caught that liquidation. But yeah. Hope you guys find that useful. Hope you guys find simulated liquidations useful and the Cubans in open interest spaghetti. And we'll be making more advanced videos and get more into it as soon as possible. So stick around and see you guys again.